Okay. Well, thank you everyone for joining today that could make it to the Zoom call today, and then those that are going to be joining to watch this video at a later date. We are what we're talking about today is learning all about your online benefits, getting to know the things that the Chamber has to offer on their website that can benefit your business, such as we'll be talking about the business directory, how to update your profile on the Chamber's website that shows up on the business directory, things like posting jobs, posting specials, online specials, discounts, how to utilize the Chamber's events calendar, and some of those types of things. So there's a few things to cover that we'll try to do with about 30 minutes. So anything beyond that, we can talk in person. And so, or you can reach out to Janet, the membership director. She can answer any of your questions that you might have beyond what we'll learn about today. So the Chamber's website, the first thing we want to talk about is the member login. So on the home page, there's a button that's asked for a username and password. And if you don't have that username and password, then just give us a call at the Chamber. They can set you up with the username and password. Or if you forgot it, then there is a link here that you can click on, and that will, it'll send a reminder to reset the password to the primary email that's on file. And then perhaps if you don't see it come into your inbox, just check your spam folder, perhaps see if it's in there. If it's not the primary email on file and you didn't receive it, just let us know and we can help you get set up that way. So entering that username and password, usually it's your email address being the username, and the password is something that you can set up to whatever you want. When you click sign in, you're going to come to a page that looks like this, and this is your Chamber Member Center, or whatever you want to refer to it as. It's a way for you to edit all your content, and as I mentioned, events calendar, posting jobs. So there's a few buttons here. On the left hand side, there's a shortcuts menu. I like to use this shortcuts menu, although there is the account settings drop down in the upper right hand corner of your screen, which some of those things can be achieved from this drop down as well. I prefer to use this shortcut menu just because it's a little bit easier. But first thing I'm going to look at is posting a job. So if you're a business and you want to post a job that will appear out on the Chamber's website, almost everything you do in here is going to affect what shows up on the Chamber's website for your business or organization. So posting a job is quite easy. You simply just click on this button, and then there's two blue buttons that will appear: add a job posting or manage job postings. So clicking on add a job posting will just fill in this template. It's a template that has some fields that you click into and add the title of your job. So let's just say it's a marketing assistant. This member has been gracious enough to let us use them as an example. So we're logged in as Ann Donnelly, and that's going to reflect throughout this member login that we're logged in as Ann. So the reason I say that is, let's say you add your job title, you add your description, fill in some of the blanks. You don't have to fill in all of them, but what's important is the category of your job posting. Let's just say it's administrative. We'll click on that. And then this information is pre-populated from your on file information with the chamber. So just make sure that this information is correct before you go further with the job posting. And here with this calendar, you'll see that you can choose 1 week at a time to post your job opening. And so the dates show up on the right-hand side. That is when the job will be published live on the Chamber's website. If you want it to be discontinued before that, then just give them a call or send them over an email and say, hey, we filled that position and we need to remove that. Or there is a way to manage your job postings from your from this area here too, which we encourage you to do. But either way, then there's a logo, so you can upload your logo here, and then we're gonna just click add an image and choose a file and use this logo for an example. So we searched our computer for that logo, we upload it. Has to be a JPEG, cannot be a PDF file. It has to be a JPEG or a GIF or a PNG type of a file. Okay, and then we're just going to save this as a draft. Oh, we do need to give it a title. Okay, so title, description, save it as a draft. And then we can go back down here and we can preview it. Now, when you're ready to submit it for approval, it does go to the chamber for approval before it goes live to their website. So remember that. Most of the time, you'll be clicking submit for approval because you'll be ready to get it posted on there. But if you have to save it and come back to it, you can click that Save Changes button and come back to it and finish that draft. But there's a preview button. So if we click on preview, it'll open up that page and show you what it will look like on the Chamber's website once it's live. So here's where the logo is. It has a link to all of your business information already on the right-hand side, and then this is where your description would go. The name of the title of the job opening, the description that you want to put in there. I think this can accept a pretty large description, so if you already have it in a Word document, it's easy to copy and paste right in this description box. So it's pretty straightforward. That's a job posting for an example. And then going back to the home page, this works the same way if you're a retail type business and you want to post a deal. So it's referred to as hot deals on the back office here. You would just click add a deal, and this is for like a discounted type of items, or like a buy one get one free, or a discount of 20% off of something. So something that you can put a value to, a monetary value to, is the best example of what we would want to have on this deals page. But this is good for retail type businesses or anybody that has some kind of a monetary value to add, to give, to offer. So I would encourage you to use the title to be including the value of whatever the value is of your deal. Put it in the title, because that's going to catch someone's attention immediately. What is it? Is it a dollar amount? Is it a percentage or something like that? Don't leave people guessing, because the first thing that shows up to that person is the title. They'll see the title and then they can click on the title and then they'll find out more information about that deal. So it's pretty important that you use the value, put the value right in the title of the deal. So the tagline is something that appears right below the title, and you can use the tagline to say something real quick about your business or a little bit of information about that special that you're offering on top of the actual title. Again, choosing a category, pretty straightforward. Fill in the blanks. Choose your date range. There's an offer date and an end date. Offer start, offer end date. And keep in mind, there's also a published start date and a published end date. There are 2 date ranges on here. It's very seldom that a business would use these as different date ranges, but it is possible. So, but most of the time you'd want these to match. This would be the same published end date for both of these. But very simple, save as a draft, and that's going to be live out on the Chamber's website. On some of these, on the home page, they have deals, job postings, business directory, news releases, things like that. So that's the job postings, that's the deals, and there's also member-to-member deals. Now, this would be something more internal that members only, you'd want to extend offers to members only, and that would be something that would be visible to members. So keep in mind that hot deals right now will be published on the Chamber site to anyone, versus member to member. You want that to be more specific to other Chamber members. But it works the same way as deals. Just fill in the template and click save at the bottom of your screen or submit for approval, and that will go to one of the staff members at the Chamber office for approval. News releases, that's something like a press release, for example. That would be something that you might have that you want the public to know about. For example, you're moving your business from one place to the next, or you have something going on that you think qualified as a press release. That would be an example to use the news release, which gets pushed out to the Chamber's website. Again, that's subject to approval, but if you have any question about whether it's appropriate for the Chamber's website, then just go ahead and give them a call first. But the news release would be examples of another way to use this login, and it works the same way. Fill in the blanks, click save. So that's on the left-hand side. Those buttons are the ones that are used the most. There are some buttons across the top, which is like, for example, there is a directory here, which is different from the website directory. As a Chamber member, you have an internal business directory, member directory, that you can search for other Chamber members in that directory. You can search for them by name. You can search for them by phone number, email address. So it's more thorough and robust than your one on the Chamber website is open to the public, and it may or may not have some of those more detailed information like email addresses. So as a member, this could be useful to you. Let's say you met someone at a Chamber mixer and you remember their first name, but you don't remember their last name. You can type in their first name and it'll bring up everybody with that first name. And so a good resource to have as a Chamber member for this login area. The events calendar. This is also again another way to communicate to the public or other Chamber members that you have an event coming up. The Chamber has 2 calendars on their website. One is, there's one for specifically for Chamber events. There's another one for Chamber member events, and so that's going to get published out onto this calendar. If you're a Chamber member and you have an event coming up, it's pretty full right now, so you can see how that would look with the calendar view. Now we're live on the Chamber's website. Going back to your member login, so everything you do here is going to reflect what shows up on that calendar event. So again, it's a fill in the blanks. A lot more details with the events calendar because there's just more things that go into holding an event. But photographs, your logo. This is a header image that will show up across the top of your event page. Logo, photographs, YouTube video, And again, with the at the bottom, save as a draft or submit for approval. So that's the events. So that would be some of the things that members will use, but we also want to talk about the business directory. This is a asset to the community, and what information shows up in your profile is what's open to the public. So we know that chamber members use this directory on the chamber's website, but we also know that non-chamber members use this, and prospective chamber members wanting to join will use this. So be sure your information is up to date using this back office. So going back to this login area, you have these buttons we already talked about, the deals, the job postings, the news releases, but there's also personal information and company information. So we'll start with personal information, and this information here is all for this person who's logged in the upper right hand corner. So this should be your name, or maybe you're sharing your password with someone else. That's fine too for your business, but just remember that this information here is specific to Anne. So Anne has the ability to update her password if she'd like to. Doesn't have to stay the same. You can change that as often as you need. She can upload her photograph, and so that's going to appear. I'm going to do that right now so you can see how this works. On her chamber webpage, we're using this as an example. The chamber, when you join the chamber, they fill out some of this information on your behalf: your name, phone number, website, map, and a little bit of information about you. But it's kind of up to you to going back to here, to update your own personal information. And you can also add other reps. So for example, Anne is a smaller business, but if she had several employees, she may want to add more employees and add their photos and add their job titles, and that would be what would make them appear. Then you could set, there's a setting that makes them appear on the chamber's website. So so photo, let's just click on that. This is for Anne, so we'll click on photo, and you can see this little Lego guy thing here. That's the placeholder. That does not show up like that on the chamber's website, but it's just showing you where to click on. And so we're going to add her picture, and we're going to crop it. Hers is a little taller instead of a square image, so we'll need to slide this up like this, crop and save. This works great for square type of images, so just remember that when you're putting your portrait there. Save changes. Okay, so now we're going to go out here and we're going to refresh the screen, but it's not there. Okay, here's why it's not there. It's still not on her page on the chamber's website, because we have to give permission for her information to show up. Okay, so that's why it's not showing up. So if you upload your photo and wonder why it's not there, it's because you have to give permission to show your information on the chamber's website with these two columns right here. One is for this member directory. This is the member directory. That's the member column. This is for the public, and that's the public directory. That's on the chamber's website, but we have to check these boxes. We're going to check these and click save. And then we're going to go out here back to her page, and we're going to refresh. And so there's her name, there's her phone number, and there's a link to her email. This does not show your personal email. It's a form. It's a template with a spam filter. So you be rest assured we're not publishing these live on the on here unless you choose for that to be posted, but by default, it's just a link to send an email. So that's something that a lot of members aren't aware of. And when you have multiple agents or reps within your business, this will be how it looks. It's a great part of your membership that just gives a little bit more credibility to your page and something to use and think about. So that's all under the personal information. Social networks, we'll just touch on that real quick. Social networks under the personal tab would be social networks for Ann or for that particular rep. So if Ann had a LinkedIn page link that she wanted to link to, that's what the social networks are for. Whereas going to the company information tab, so we'll just kind of go back to the home page again. This is how you would view it from the home page. Company information. Now we're skipping to that, and now this organization information is what the chamber has on file for you. This is not necessarily what displays to the public, but let's say you have a email change or a website change or something like that, or a phone number change. You want to update it here, and it's going to default to this right away. So update your organization information if you have a major change. But going down to website information, this is everything that shows up on website information is displayed publicly on your chamber webpage right here. So when I talked about social networking, if Ann wanted her own social networking links here, she would update that in her personal section. But farther up on the page, there are social network icons that you as a business can upload or link to, and that is found under the company and website information section. So when we scroll down, we're going to find social network services here, and so that's for your business. So you would want to add, if you don't have a Facebook address in here already, you'd want to just take and erase that address. That's just a placeholder. Copy, go to Google, type in, get your Facebook address as it should be listed, and then you copy that, paste it there, check that box, and then make sure you click save at the bottom of your screen. So that's how the social networks appear on your chamber webpage, is through the company information section. So while we're on this page, this also is where you would add the description of your business. And there's a 500 character description that you can add for your business. So there's a fair amount of space to type into this field. You can copy and paste, and then just once you save your changes, then you can go out and you can see the changes that you've made as you are making those changes. Hours of operation, driving directions. There is a Google map. Just remember that there is a Google map on your chamber webpage, but it's sometimes helpful for somebody to find a written description, like a landmark. We're across from a specific landmark. So that's why you would want to put that in there. Even though there's a Google map that should be hopefully pinning your location correctly. And if it's not, by the way, the Google map is something that we can change on your chamber webpage. We'll look at that in a minute. But so these are information. These are fields that you want to fill in. Keywords, those are important for someone who is searching the chamber's business directory. So if you don't have a keyword listed in this box, then when someone searches the business directory, using a keyword, you won't come up favorably. You won't come up at all with that type of a search. So keep in mind the keywords are pretty important. Those are best that if they come from you, and so you have up to 240 characters. You separate those with a space, not a comma. So that's pretty important as well for individuals searching the directory to match up with your business. So that's your company information. I talked about the map pin, the Google map. So that is something that, well, we'll get to that 1 minute. The logos, photos, and video, you'll see that as a member logged in. It's something that some members choose to upgrade to. So if you click on that and you see that it's not available, just reach out to your chamber membership director and ask about that. That's something you can upgrade to, and pictures and logos and video, that's another option as a member. But the map pin information, so you can take and move this pin to it. You can take and drag it and drop it. So if Google does not have you in the right spot for some reason, this is something you can edit. So keep that in mind for the Google map on your page. Then finally, I'll talk about this membership badge. The membership badge is something that you can use to add the chamber's logo to your website. So let's say you're an admin for your website and you have access to the back office of your website. You would just generate this URL code right here, and you could copy that and paste it in the back office of your website, and it will pull in the most current chamber logo. So if the chamber ever changes their logo, then you don't need to update that every time they do that. It should pull in the most current logo at all times. So that's an example of somebody that might have admin access to their website. If you don't, then you could forward that HTML code to your web team or whoever has access to your website and ask them to put it on the right-hand corner or the left-hand side or wherever you'd like to put that. Billing, there is a place where you can make payments online as well and view your transaction history with your chamber dues or registering and paying for events, things like that. So those are the main things that most members will be using. And if there's any other questions you have, again, just reach out to Janet at the chamber or myself, and we'd be happy to go over these one-on-one and in more detail. So, if you are one of those people that like to use their phones, there's an app for everything, right? So there's a Member Plus app, it's called, and it's good for Apple and Android devices. And even though this is this whole back office is user friendly with mobile devices, it's mobile responsive. This app is just another way for you to access all this content using an app on your phone versus logging in with the traditional way. So thank you, everybody. And if you have any questions, let us know.